Hi, what's up everyone? I am GCROCK and welcome to the video. Today I am doing a mix of 10 top tips for beginners on Star Wars Outlaws or things that I wish I knew sooner. And this should be helpful for those that are just about to start playing the game. So if it is, please make sure you give this video a like and comment down below to support it. And for those wanting to support more, I also have a Ubisoft content creator code. So with your Ubisoft Connect purchases, just add the code GCROCK at checkout to support me more. Thank you for that, and thank you Ubisoft for the code. Enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so number one, the first thing we're going to go over is settings. If you just bring up your menu and go to settings, you can also do this from the main menu before you start the game. And I highly recommend that you go through these, even if you're on console, because there's a lot of cool settings in here. I'm not going to go over everything or make this part of the video or this point that long, because I've covered a whole video on settings, and you can go and check that out if you want to. But I will cover some things that you definitely want to have a look at. If under gameplay, you can change all your difficulty and stuff here, but one setting I really liked is also perfect cooling. I didn't find out till very late in the game that this was a thing, and it was annoying. It was really annoying every time that thing just overheated, and I had to hit like a reload button to cool it down and to start shooting again. Well, having this turned on automatically cools the blaster perfectly every time, so you can focus on other things. Highly recommend turning that on if it's annoying you as much as it was annoying me. Also, while you are here, there's a few minigame settings that I highly advise having a look at, because some of this stuff can be very annoying for some people. As simple as like stylized numerals when you're playing Sabacc. You can change that to simple numbers or just symbols, or leave it at default. But you can also like make it so the cheap minigame that you win every time by turning that off. You can change the lockpicking rhythm challenge. You can turn it off altogether, so you just lockpick automatically if that starts getting boring for you. Or you can just make the difficulty easier or harder if you want more of a challenge. Or you can just give yourself some lockpicking visual cues. There's some slicing settings as well, some street food challenge settings, and some other settings. So I highly recommend looking at this. If you're playing the game and some things are just starting to annoy you and getting tedious, there's stuff here that you can change that'll just make it a little bit more enjoyable for you. And while here, I do recommend changing your field of view. I changed mine to 190, so 100 on the view angle, 90 on the view angle when aiming. Everything else is pretty much personal preference. You got your controls, video, graphics. There is one thing on graphics that I would recommend changing, especially if you are recording or streaming the game. Motion blur intensity. I just removed motion blur. Helps the frames a little bit as well, especially if you're on an old rig like mine. It's like a 1080 Ti Ryzen 7 chip. It's old. The game runs perfectly fine on it with the settings that I've got. But yeah, I always recommend to turn those off, especially because most people are recording and streaming nowadays anyway. It doesn't help matters. You just add extra quality to your streaming recordings by changing that setting alone. And there are also a lot of accessibility presets. All of these presets, everything in here is pretty much in all the other settings that you can go through, but you can set up these presets if you want to. And it'll show you what preset you get for each one that you choose. Mine are all custom, so we've gone through all of the main settings myself, and I've selected what I wanted. But if you do want to have a look at some presets and just get a lot of stuff turned on or turned off, you can do that here. I have done a whole video on the reputation system and how it works with the different clans or syndicates that you're going to meet along your journey, and how all this works. My tip for this video with these though is to work on these. I highly recommend that you work on getting them all to excellent, because there's some great rewards locked behind them. I really like the one behind Ashiga, which is why I did them first. If we go into Ashiga and look at the rewards, every single clan's going to give you an appearance item for K's blaster. You're going to get charms that you can equip to K to give you buffs. You're going to get some bundles for parts and stuff. But when you max the reputation out, and I mean maxed out, not just reaching excellence, but getting the bar all the way to full, you get some gear sets. So like I'm just going to go through one of them now, the Kijimi Explorer jacket. You can see it reduces damage, it increases the amount of adrenaline gained. We've got the Kijimi Explorer belt, increases back the vial carrying capacity, fully restores health upon taking lethal damage. The Kijimi Explorer pants greatly reduces damage taken from explosions when crouched rolling or sliding. Health begins to regenerate sooner after taking damage. And if I wear all 3, I get like a set bonus here, which greatly reduces damage taken at low health, and defeating enemies when at low health with K's Blaster triggers super cooling. Requires good or better reputation with the Shiga clan for that to stay a thing. But I really like the sound of this set, so I made it a point to get it. Only just got it before recording this video, this set of videos I wanted to record, so I've not really given it much time to test it yet, but I look forward to it. You also get this for Nyx. Nyx gets a scarf, you know? Look how cute he looks with that. So, highly recommend working towards getting excellent and maxed out reputation with all of these. The only other thing to mention really is the achievements. There is an achievement for getting a terrible reputation with one of these. So Crimson Dawn's very easy to do. It's a lot early in the game story-wise, without any spoilers, that allows you to get very low with Crimson very quickly. So take advantage of that if you want the achievement. But after that, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to recover that and get that back to max, and all 4 of these to max, so you can get all of your awards. And so don't worry about that too much. And you'll find all of those opportunities. You can find it again from, if we go into Pike, there's some contract brokers. You can pick up contracts. You can also find like mission opportunities in the world. So you can go and check that out. And there's lots of random stuff that goes on. So make sure you're working towards your reputation, doing lots of side quests, loads of side activities, lots of exploration. You'll be able to max all 4 out. Abilities and experts is number 3 on my list of things I want to talk about with you. And that's because, again, of all the different buffs that you can get. Now, I got to the end of the game without even meeting half of these, or should I say just meeting half of these. And I haven't even unlocked half the stuff. You can see this guy here, I've only unlocked 1 out of 6, 4 out of 6 there, 3 out of 6, 2 out of 6. Once you've unlocked an expert, there's some objectives you can do to just boost your power, to boost K, and to even boost Nyx. So let's have a look at how this works, because not all are available from the start of the game. From the start of the game, you might only have the bartender, but these are where you just unlock stuff. So you can see this here. I think this is an automatic unlock from when you unlock him as part of the tutorial, but it allows K to execute melee attacks by pressing V, and you press repeatedly to chain hits. Lockpicking is the next thing that I learned from one of these, but then some things will be locked, and I will have to perform objectives to unlock them, like this one here had to be unlocked, fast talk. And then if I want to keep talking, I've got an objective there to get it. I must defeat enemies affected by fast talk using the stun shot. And then there's this here, the unlock conditions for this, which is armored undershirt, which increases K's maximum health. I've got to have some coarse weave, which I've got enough of, but also iron weave. So I've got to find that. It'll give you an unlock hint. Look out for tailors in cities and settlements, although this specific part will be impossible to find in Canto Bight. So use those hints, get these completed, and get K buffed out with more perks. Now, as you're going through the game, you will get different experts. I've got the mechanic, again, with some set of buffs here and objectives to get all those unlocked. We've got the slicer, and I can go through all of these objectives to get all them unlocked. I'm wondering if, once you've unlocked all the objectives for every expert, if there's a final one, because why have we got that space in the middle? I have completed the story at this point. I have no idea what that is. And you can see I've got loads locked here as well. I got to go and find these to get them unlocked and start working on their progression also. The good thing is, once you've came across these naturally in the world from this menu, I can just show them on the map. It'll bring up the map, and I know where I can track them and go to complete whatever mission it is to get them unlocked and to start working on those objectives and extra buffs. My advice to you would be, as soon as an expert is unlocked, make sure you're working on them. Who doesn't want extra power and extra abilities? Next, I just want to discuss the mission types with you, because there's a lot of different mission types, and if we bring up the journal, you can see them all. So your main quests are at the top. This is going to be where all your main quests are for like the main story quests, but also all the main side quests or syndicate quests as well. They're all going to go here. So these are quite big quests. They're going to take quite a long time to complete. They're not just 5-minute jobs, but you are going to get a lot of reward for them. So we've already spoke about reputation, but you see a lot of different quests I have here are going to be improving the reputation for different syndicates. So, you know, make sure you're completing these because, as I said earlier, we want to be improving that reputation. But this isn't all, though. If we look down the left tab here, we do have more different quest types. So there's intel quests. These intel quests are just anything that you pick up from exploring. You could just hear a conversation. You could interact with a data pad. You could pick up anything, and it's going to give you an intel quest. It's just intel that you've heard, that you've gathered, and that you can follow to complete a quest. And this is everything I've got so far that I haven't completed, but there's still tons more to find and do on this map. So you will want to work towards this. You're going to get a lot of rewards from completing stuff like this, like treasures and all sorts. Moving on to the next one, and we have expert intel. So this is in line with the experts I was talking about before. This expert intel is going to unlock an expert for you, start working on those objectives to then get K just more powerful, or Nick's more powerful, just to get extra perks, skills, and abilities. So I highly recommend focusing on this expert intel ASAP to get them unlocked. And then there's also Outlaw Legends. This is later in the game, and I haven't even touched that, so I don't actually know what that is, and I don't know if this unlocks a series of missions once I've done that. It's all involving the holo tracker that you pick up, and it's something I've not used, so I'm a little bit not in the know on this mission type at all. But we will move on, because then we have key part intel. Very similar to intel that you pick up, but this intel is going to give you some key parts for upgrading your stuff. So whether that is K's blaster or the ship, or whether it's going to be upgrading your speeder, you'll be wanting to complete these to get those upgrade parts. I highly recommend focusing on these when you have them. And then last in the list is contracts. I think I've already touched on contracts with reputation before. You can pick up contracts from different syndicates. This is going to improve their reputation. You can hold free contracts from each of the worlds that you can visit as well at once. They're not timed. You can do them when you want, but these contracts will reward you with some money, some parts, or it tells you on the right hand side what they're going to reward you with, but more importantly, reputation towards that syndicate, which again helps with maxing out all of the syndicate's relationships. Map navigation is the next tip that I want to discuss. It's something I didn't notice till later in the game, because I always miss out on things like this. I just don't spot them. But rather than just looking for things that you've came across and maybe forgetting where they are, it doesn't matter where you are. At any point, you can bring up the navigator. I press Y on PC. It'll be on top left corner of your map. It'll say whatever the button is if you're playing on console or using controller. But what this does, it just allows you to see everything like this. So everything we just saw in the mission menu really is going to be here, and it's going to be in different tabs. So we have like the main missions, we have intel, we have contracts, we have vendors, we have fast travel points, opportunities, and miscellaneous. So you can go through that. You can scroll down, have a look what there is, get the map location right away, track it as well, and you can switch between different worlds here. We're currently in Tashal system, but we can go to Tattoo, we can go to Kajimi, we can go to Akiva, and just look at everything there as well. You don't have to go to your ship and go into orbit to fast travel between worlds. It's something that's very good about this game. Like if I wanted to do a fast travel point in Akiva now, even though I'm not there, I can do. I can fast travel. Might take a bit to load and load in because we're changing worlds, but I think that's great. You don't really need to go into orbit once you've got all worlds unlocked and you've got a fast travel point. You can just fast travel using the map system and the navigation system. Very handy. Thought I'd just touch on that. Beginner tip number 7, and this is something I never used all through my game, and again I didn't even notice. But at the bottom of the screen there is an icon that looks like a pouch, and as for what's this, it's by pressing U on PC. So I pressed U and I could see it brings up this menu: electro, binoculars, holo tracker, and grenades, and it tells you what they're equipped to. So if I press number 5 there, I can bring out my binoculars. I didn't even know these were a thing, but these are very handy. So this game's very stealth, and we're going to talk about that in a moment for another tip. But when you are approaching an area and you've got a task to do, these things are gonna do great, because if there are any enemies or anything like that, you are going to be able to mark those enemies. So there is no enemies or anything like that at this location I've come to mark, but pretty decent like any other game. Mark them, they'll stay marked for you so you can see them while they're moving around. But something else you can also do is place waypoints if there's somewhere you want to go to. So let's say we want to go over to that tree over there. I can stick a waypoint on that. I can come out and the waypoint stays there, so I can see where I need to go. I can also set some annotations. So if I want to annotate something, we could annotate this building here. I can put a little skull on that. We can change it to a heart if we want to, and we can annotate other stuff. You know, we can. There's lots of stuff in the annotation menu that you can pick, different marks, different colors, and you can confirm it, and that's going to stay on your screen if needed. You can bring your binoculars back out again, and yeah, that's going to stay there. So whenever I come and scan this area, that annotation will stay there, and if I go to my map, it's there. So you can just put different markers down, which is, I think, is great. It's something that I didn't know about, but if you see something or a place and you just want to mark it as a piece of reference for future, then you can do that. I've marked that as a heart. I could have put that heart absolutely anywhere. I can make waypoints absolutely anywhere. Just allows me to do some map activities like that. And you can also annotate from the map though, too. You know, I can do that and do all that here. I just think it's a great tool. One tool that I never used through my playthrough, and I wish I did. My next tip is my recommendation to always go with stealth where possible. Stealth on this game is very fun. I enjoy it, and the game forces it upon you at times, so you got to do it. And it's just the easier way to get through a lot of areas. And there's so just so much stealth techniques available to Kay and Nyx that why wouldn't you? So for example, Nyx can do a lot of activities for you. He can sabotage these panels rather than yourself. He can go and pick things up, collect them for you, and bring them back to you. He can detonate things. He can be a distraction. He can attack enemies for you, so they're blinded, and you can quietly take them out. So you can see on screen here, I'm trying to get close to the enemy to take them out. If I wanted to, and he was on his own, and he was just about to spot me, I could quickly get Nyx just to jump on his face and blind him. It's so beneficial to be stealth, and there's loads of stealth options in this game with Nyx. It just makes sense to do it. I'm going to say that about 80% of this game that I've played so far, which is from start to finish on the story, could have just been done stealth. There was one hideout that I did, and I stealthed the whole lot while finding all of the hidden rooms, their stash, and everything, and got out, and not one person even knew I was there. A lot of people, when they woke up from being knocked out, would have, but no one knew I was there, and it was very rewarding. I think the stealth in this game is absolutely brilliant, and there's some other moments where I tried to go loud, and it was really difficult. And it's kind of like, well, I prefer to go stealth because stealth's just easy and comfortable compared to having a million people on top of me and killing me. So stealth, highly recommended. Get used to it and use Nyx to your full advantage. So we've already spoken about missions, and the certain mission types that get you some resources to upgrade your ship and upgrade your speeder and to upgrade Kay's blaster and stuff. Now, with Kay's blaster, if we head over to our ship, when we're ready to upgrade the blaster, you do it from the ship. You've got a workbench here. You can modify the blaster. There's loads of different modules that you can unlock, and you can work towards improving them. And you've got the ion part of the blaster, and you've also got the power part of it. So you want to be working on this, and whenever you get all of the upgrades required, you can come here and do them. And also, like earlier, if you can have a look at these, it tells you the crafting materials that you need to get. So like the blaster recirculator there, and one of the best ways of getting a lot of this stuff is just to go around and have a look around their vendors and what they're selling and things like that. Always keep an eye out on a vendor when you interact with a vendor as well, and they've got a part that does something for you, like upgrades your blaster or anything like that. It will say this part is needed for this, so they're very handy to look around and find parts to upgrade. Now, when it comes to your ship or your speeder, you're not going to be able to upgrade it from your ship. You've got to actually find engineers to do that. Now, if you bring up your map, we're in a location here where we've got both. You've got a ship mechanic, and we've also got a speeder mechanic. It will give you an icon, like you just saw then, like a yellow icon if they've got things available for you to upgrade. And you'll have to come to these. So we come over to this ship mechanic right now. I can interact. It's a shop. I can change the appearance of my ship. I can change like the skin on it. I can change what the fuel projects. The pink one there, or purple. And we can change trinket as well. And what I can also do is upgrade it. So we can upgrade, have a look at what's ready to install, and we can install things to make our ship better. Highly recommend doing this when you can, because for one, there's an achievement for heading into space with a fully upgraded ship. So you'll want to fully upgrade it for that purpose, but it'll also make some of those missions easier when you are in orbit, and some other stuff you want to do in orbit. It'll just make it easier. And with the speeder is exactly the same. We will want to find a speeder mechanic, interact with them. They'll have an appearance menu, which we can change the appearance of the speeder again. We can change the trinket that are on there as well. This has 2 spots. It has a spot for a trinket, and it also has a spot for the rear too. And you can upgrade it. So we go to upgrades. It'll show you what's ready to install. You're able to go onto that, install the parts, and improve the speeder. So you want to be finding these quite often once you got the parts to do them, and focusing on those missions to find the parts in the first place and those vendors to buy them. It does kind of bring me on to my 9th tip for you, which is just to explore and interact with everything. If you bring up the map for each world, it'll give you like a collection of undiscovered treasures. I've got 5 undiscovered treasures here in Maragona Valley. If I go south and I go to the grazing fields, there's 7 undiscovered treasures. These are rewards that I'm going to get, and these rewards could be from side missions. It could be from anything. There's 24 in the lost step there that I need to go and find, and I've only got these items here that are marked. You want to fully explore. You want to interact with everything on your exploration. If something pops up saying listen, listen. If something pops up saying talk, talk. If there's a data pad, inspect it. Data pads quite often will pop up and just have nothing but like text on them, but sometimes that text is gonna unlock a mission for you to go and find. Quite often it does that, so make sure you're interacting with it. You want to unlock as much on your map as possible and complete as much as your map on possible to get all these resources that you need to upgrade everything and make yourself more powerful. So make sure you are doing that, and obviously to collect all the treasures as well. And it's not just on the maps. If we go into orbit, you have an orbit for each of the worlds, and I've got 10 undiscovered treasures in the Tashara orbit, which means I've got to go and explore this a little bit more to find those treasures. You can see there's a wreck cluster there with 3 of them right away. It's quite an obvious one, this one, but just explore. And finally, to close off this video, I just wanted to discuss the in-game rewards that you get for pre-ordering the game or getting the Ultimate Edition, because I wasn't so sure how all of this worked. But there is a pre-order bonus, which gives you a cosmetic pack for your Speeder and Trailblazer. There's also a season pass that you get with the Gold Edition and Ultimate Edition, where it extends your galactic journey with the season pass. You unlock an additional Star Wars Outlaws wildcard and Star Wars Outlaws: A Pirate's Fortune narrative expansion. They are coming later, and will be additional expansions that are added on. But you also get the Day 1 exclusive mission, Jabba's Gambit, as an extra, and the Kessel Runner character pack. And then for the Ultimate Edition, you get the Rogue Infiltrator bundle and a Sabak Shark bundle, as well as the digital art book. So I just want to explain how you get a hold of all of this. I'm not 100% on the digital art book yet, because I'm still recording this game before the game's release, and I think this is going to be something that you get for Ubisoft Connect and the rewards on there once the game is unlocked. But for the rest, I can explain it for you. Now, we've already spoke about this at Kay's ship, but any rewards you got for your reputation went into this crate. And it's the same with your rewards that you get from your pre-order bonuses or your ultimate bonuses. Make sure you come to use this delivery crate, and this is where they're going to go. Once you've got a hold of them, you'll find them on K, but not before that. So you'll notice in the loadout here, I've got the Rogue Infiltrator jacket that was part of the Ultimate Edition. We've also got the Sabak Shark cape that was part of the Ultimate Edition. The only thing I didn't get was the pre-order bonuses for this ship cosmetic and the speeder cosmetic. I think because that's a pre-order bonus, that will be added when the game launches. It'll be found in the same place, so it'll be found here. And as for the Jabba's Gambit extra mission that you get, this doesn't unlock until later in the game, once you've completed the Jabba's Favor main story mission. After this has been completed, you'll unlock a new quest called Jabba's Gambit, and it will pop up on your screen. And if you want to unlock that mission as soon as possible, then it's part of Tatooine, so you want to go and complete the main quests on there. And that is it. That's everything that I think that I wanted to cover in this kind of like beginner tips video. They're the questions that I had as I was playing through the game, and there's some stuff there that I learned later on that I wish I knew sooner. So I hope this video has been a benefit for some people. If it has been, do hit that like button and drop a comment down below to support the video, and also drop a comment if you got any more questions. I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next one, if you do want to watch some more Star Wars Outlaws content right away, there's a playlist in the video description for you to check, or I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, take care, and peace out.